Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. You are in for a treat. I'm so excited. On Sisters of Wellness, you know that we do this show as a way of giving women who are inspiring and delightful an opportunity to teach us. And the young woman who is my guest tonight, all the way from New York City, woohoo, Melody Vaughn. Melody Vaughn is an interior designer, but not just an interior designer. She believes that our space that we're in can and should be a space of healing. Melody, thank you so much. Thank you so much for carving out time to be with us here at Sisters of Wellness.
I am honored beyond, and I thank you for allowing me to share my passion, my love, my joy, my pains with everyone. And the name, Sisters of Wellness, that's so beautiful because I do believe everyone should live in peace and live in beauty. And homes heal. I believe that homes have a power of healing, just like medicine and so many other things.
And interesting that you have this feeling, this thought, and this understanding that homes heal. And your goal is to work with families that have been devastated, starting with those who were devastated by the racism of riots like the one that took place, and particularly back in your hometown area of Gainesville in Rosewood, where that community was completely wiped out by the Klan. And families are still feeling the impact of that. And I think we don't do enough conversations about ancestral trauma. But those who are still here, as in Miss Lizzie Jenkins,
yes,
who's going to be a part of the event that you are hosting here in Gainesville, and many other families and people who were not even there, who still feel what took place.
Oh, you are so right. And as you were speaking, I was getting chills. A brief history about me. I'm, yes, an interior designer here in New York and Harlem even. So I love, love, love Harlem. But my roots are in Gainesville. I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Gainesville. High school, middle school, everything. And my father was a landscaper. So as a child, I would go with him to these beautiful homes and see how others lived other than myself. And I would go home and recreate what I saw. So growing up in Gainesville, with Rosewood being 30, 40 minutes outside of Gainesville, I knew the story. I knew of and at some points it was even an urban legend that these homes were destroyed because it was such a kept secret. But I often wondered as a designer how they were living. And because of COVID and because of so many virtual designs, going back home and repairing my mom's house even, I said, wait a minute, I got to do more. I got to give back. And I decided to create a nonprofit called Healing Homes by Design. And yes, Rosewood descendants are my first patients, the first group that I want to show love, because just the thought of a mob coming to your town, burning down your home out of a lie, you being forced to go to a completely different location and start anew. These same descendants have never been given, forget a 40 acre and a mule, they haven't even been given tax breaks or home buying abilities. And I think simple things like a fresh coat of paint, new carpeting, wall repairs, some of the simplest things can impact and change your life. So I'm on a mission to do that as much as I can. And I'm starting with an event, as you mentioned, July 24th in Gainesville, called Art, Wine, and Design. And the proceeds from this event will go towards my first project, which is healing and repairing a home of a Rosewood descendants.
My guest tonight is Melody Vaughn from New York, working in Harlem. She has her own interior design firm. And interesting, I don't know that I've ever heard anyone else talk about healing homes by designing. Now, of course, there's the Zen and the feng shui approach, but to go and gather information about families, you know, we all heard and know about Oklahoma City.
Right.
But there were hundreds of communities across the country.
Hundreds.
And these families, their descendants are still feeling it and don't even understand why they
Right.
may be living the way that they're living. And it's because they're carrying that ancestral pain of fear of accomplishing.
Exactly. Oh, you have hit the head on the nail. And honestly, as a designer, oftentimes there was a level of guilt that I felt as I created amazing spaces, knowing that there were families that needed just a little bit of what I was doing for these other families. So often clients, when I design a space or help them design a space, they'll come back to me and say, they've lost weight, they've gained, they've met a boyfriend, they got a new job. All these changes have occurred in their life as a result of changing their environment. And I know the power of living in a beautiful space. And I think we all deserve it. And that takes me back to Rosewood and Tulsa and so many other locations that have this, like you say, ancestral, I say baggage, this post-traumatic syndrome energy, and they don't know why. And the minute we change the light fixture, paint a wall, and it's literally that simple, everything starts unveiling itself, and it just gives you power. And I'm on a mission. I want to spread love and instill peace and beauty in as many homes as I possibly can. I want to show that I know what my father did as a landscaper. I remember growing up, and we would look at blueprints, and I would see numbers and lines, and I learned how to read blueprints upside down, watching my father read them and speak to them. And understanding that the foundation and the structure of the building, of the home, is the most important aspect. And if you work from the inside out to create the space, that's also with us as human beings, working from the inside out to create peace. So again, I can't speak enough on how important it is and how empowering it is to live in a beautiful home.
Working from the inside out.
Yeah.
That is it.
That's it.
That is it. You know, and from the inside, what's going on with us on the inside is going to manifest in what the outside space looks like. So if you just marinate on that just a little bit.
And even, you know, we as, and again, your the title, Women and Wellness, we as women, Black women, Latino women, Asian women across the spectrum, we are the nucleus, we are the foundation. And if and they say like the airplane, if you put your mask on yourself first before your child, we have to be taken care of first. We women typically run the household. And if our core isn't together and if our home isn't together, we're not really living our best life and contributing to our children and to our mates. And I think sometimes designing a home and Pamela, you have some background in interior design, creating a beautiful space, the logistical aspect of it is incredibly overwhelming. Measuring, deciding on scale, placement, all of that is the work in itself. Creating the beauty is what we all have within us. And that's why I want to bring those gifts and those skills that I have to a larger audience, and doing things like my Art, Wine, and Divine design event, so that I can bring in funds, so that I can help descendants of Rosewood, and eventually help the teachers, and eventually help the law enforcement. There are segments of our community that give to us, and we acknowledge them, but then they go home. What do they go home to? I want them to go home to peace and beauty.
Even as we're still in the midst of COVID, and we have given our thank yous to the frontline workers, whether it's the person at the grocery store who's checking out hundreds of people over the course of a week and being potentially exposed to healthcare workers, law enforcement. And we thank them, but I've never heard anybody say anything about what is their space like at home? Are they coming home to a peaceful environment?
Exactly. And as you know, wellness is a well is the circumference, that's the depth of it all. And wellness begins at home. From what we eat, what we read, what we look at, what we touch, all of that is what makes us well. And so often homes go neglected because it's just a box, or it's just a space, or it's the last thing you think of. You think, I can't afford it, or I don't even know where to start. I think that healing homes should be up there with mental health. It should be up there with your OBGYN checkups. It should be up there. Like, I'm on a campaign like, did you check your home today? You know, do you need that fresh coat of paint this year? And what's your 3-5 year goal in your home? Because it's oftentimes neglected, and several of my clients will happen, oh, I'll need to redo my kitchen because my refrigerator is on a blink. So I might as well do it all. Well, let's do checkups periodically. You know, like we change so many other aspects of our life. Why not look at our homes and make those changes? Even if you don't think you have the budget, make it a family, event. Make it, I remember in college, I would help friends pack or help friends paint their apartment, and we have a pizza party. And I want to do that on a larger scale. And again, back to healing homes by design. I want to heal as many homes as possible and show people how it can be done easily and affordable. And another thing that's really popular because of COVID is consignment or repurposing. There's so many amazing thrift stores and marketplace on social media where persons are swapping and exchanging, products for services. Having a beautiful space isn't a luxury; it's a necessity to living a healthy life. It's a necessity.
And it does not have to be at the price tag of what you see in a veranda magazine.
No.
But people think that.
Yeah. Well, what I've experienced is anything that is deemed organized and orderly comes with a price. Chaos is free, and time is money. So, being slightly OCD, I put things where they belong. But that in itself is beauty. So if you create an organizational structure, and most places that need renovating or need repair, they just need to be organized. They just need to have a rhythm. And that's one of the key things that I teach and I stress with my clients. Now that you live in this space, I want to design a space according to your lifestyle and elevate it. If you like to ride a bike, let's put a bicycle in the living room on a beautiful hook, on a beautiful wallpapered wall, so you can ride that bike every day and you enjoy it. If you do nothing but watch TV, get a 65-inch TV in your living room. I don't care. Enjoy your television. Let's celebrate what you do. And so often you look through magazines and it has to be a certain way. No, it doesn't. It has to be peaceful and it has to be beautiful according to your lifestyle.
With the focus on Rosewood, coming back to this community, how is it that you see this focus on Rosewood to help heal some of the families, and particularly the woman who's the head of the Rosewood Foundation, Miss Lizzie Jenkins, is going to be at this event on the 24th.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I feel so honored to just be in her presence. This woman has carried this torch for 30, 40 years. She tells the story of her aunt escaping, getting away from this fire, and she was 5 years old, Lizzie at the time, when her aunt, who was 20, lost her husband and her home in the fire and came to live with Lizzie and her mom. And I'm sure Ms. Jenkins don't mind me repeating the story because I've heard it so many times, and each time I get chills. And Lizzie's mother told her, Ms. Jenkins' mother told her, tell this story. But her aunt was still shocked and still in a place of just being quiet and being still because of the trauma. And I can only imagine how many other families have experienced that same energy where, shh, don't say anything. Don't let them know we're here. We don't want them to know how much we have. They'll come get it. That type of post-traumatic trauma. So Miss Jenkins has She's created this amazing foundation. She worked with John Singleton in this movie. She is fighting for property that shows the gravesite of many of these descendants that someone owns, and they just like, oh, well, it's just lawn. No, it's people's lives. And I feel so blessed to partner with her and to identify the descendants, that I can sprinkle some type of love and heal as many homes as possible. Because Gainesville is where the mob started that went to Rosewood. And Gainesville is where a large percentage of those descendants return to Gainesville. So can you imagine going to the place that actually caused this horrific event and having to start anew with no help from Biden administration or the government with as they are doing now? No, they were like, farmer, you figure it out, live with a relative until you can find a place. And again, I get so emotional about it because my father was a farmer in Gainesville, but moved to New York and moved back to Gainesville. And he was considered the mayor of our community, Rutledge. And I saw what he did to lawns, and I saw he built several houses for family members, my family and my grandma's family. So I saw what he could do with his hands, but I also saw the joy he brought in these families and creating these beautiful spaces. And I just think about how these people are surviving and holding on, and the strength they must endure. And now that Black Lives Matters, which we always matter, but we're being acknowledged, now's the time to really reach back and sprinkle some type of sunshine and some type of love. And that's what I want to do. I want to, I love New York. I love my clients in Chicago. I love doing what I do, but Gainesville has a piece in my heart, and I want to give it back.
This is, in fact, a fundraiser for Miss Lizzie Jenkins' home and the works that you will be doing at the homes of some of the other descendants of Rosewood. And if you attend this event, you have an opportunity to get a design consultation. I want one.
That's right.
To get a design consultation. So Melody, this, I know that there's so many other design firms that are represented by the majority community, and it is only an African American who could come up with a notion like this and understand why it needs to be done, and not to take away from any of those other gifted designers, but to understand why this needs to be done could only come from a person of color. And you are a member of an organization with many other African American designers across the country.
Yeah.
What kind of conversations do you all have surrounding what you have to give back to your communities in terms of designing, helping in spaces where people may feel like this is too highbrow for me?
Wow, that's such a perfect segue. I so love you. Yes, to continue that thread, I am a member of the Guild, Black Artist Design Guild. Mulaney Barnett, shout out to Mulaney, started this about 3 or 4 years ago, where she is an amazing designer, carpet designer, ceramic designer, artist, and was often in New York. We would go to events and they would see me or they would see Mulaney and think that we were the same person. Thus, I do braids now because Mulaney's hair is short. My hair used to be short. But staying on topic, we as designers are often caught between that will of creating beautiful spaces for the elite and serving the community. I've always been that. In the organization, the Guild, Black Artist Design Guild, is a cornucopia of amazing talents across the globe. I am blessed and honored to be a part of it. And my little niche is with kitchen design and renovations. And then we have these other amazing textiles and so forth. And we all have that piece of our heart that we want to give to the community. And we want to show the community that Yes, I'm a Black designer, and yes, you can't afford me. And if you can't afford me, I got a sister or a brother that you can't afford. We share within our group our skill set. My style is labeled modern bohemian, and traditional and classic styles and looks, something I'm comfortable with. But I got another sister, Katina Turner, that will just do amazing work with traditional pieces. And I have, Keisha, who has a modern flair. So we're able to say, hey, this is what I do, but this is what she does even better. And then there's the Black Interior Design Network out of Atlanta, same vein. They share clients with each other, they share information, there's constant networking, but we do have those conversations of how do we serve the community. And just recently we started, during COVID, there was a virtual house that was created by the design team of If you go to your website, you can see more. And it's a conceptual house of, if this was perfection and it's a smart house, how do we live? How do we as Black community live? Well, we probably have an aging parent that lives with us, so we need an ADA ramp. We probably have someone that practices yoga or someone that needs a wide gym. We probably have students. We probably work from home. And this amazing virtual conceptual home, all designed by interior designers across the US, across the globe, is a part of the Black Artists Design Guild. So to answer your question, and we have a scholarship for upcoming designers on our website. So to answer your question, I think we share between each other, we celebrate each other, and we acknowledge that this is a groundswell. This isn't something that's a fluke. This thing is real and serious. And they inspire me to reach back and look at my foundation and my upbringing and what brought me the most joy. And I always said I heal homes. I'm a spiritual healer dressed up as an interior designer. And I tell you, from day one, when I started this journey, and 15, 20 years later, I'm really walking into that. So
I heal homes. That is
heal
so
homes.
wonderful.
It's good.
That's so wonderful, because I don't know that people have really embraced. Now we may get our homes and have the pastor or someone come over to bless the home,
Right.
and then we do whatever we do in that space.
Yeah.
But understanding how critical this haven is when we walk into it and leave the outside world behind, but also to just look around your space. In the time that we have left, Melody Vaughn, she's in New York. She has an interior design firm, Healing Homes by Design. But in this time that we have left, any tips that you can give people, just one or two things that you can do in your space to start creating this space of healing for yourself?
Ooh, well, I start with the most important aspect, which is cleanliness and clearing the clutter. Oftentimes we hold on to things everything has an energy and everything has a vibration. So we tend to hold on to things that cause us unnecessary pain. And it may take a minute for us to separate ourselves from it, but create a keep, give, release box area and separate those parts and release, and clear the clutter. Things that when you touch them, just incorporating a little feng shui. You touch it, doesn't bring you joy. It tells you a story, and that story makes you feel uncomfortable. It's time to let it go. So that is like my number one: clear the clutter, release it. And if you bring in some friends, bring in an organization expert, bring in me to do that. Secondly, paint. I say floor and walls. Redo your floors, paint your walls, and add a beautiful light fixture. And those are the fundamental pieces to starting a decor. Furniture, artwork, those are the layers that come second. But clearing the clutter, paint, floor, lighting, and then we can add on the furniture and accessories.
Beverly Kate Watkins in Bradshaw in Memphis, Tennessee, is giving an amen and agreement to all that you're saying because it is so very powerful. Kate, thank you so much for watching. And Ricardo, speak on that, and a bunch of applause. Ricardo, thank you for watching. Ricardo, I hope your doTERRA is going well for you. So listen, it is so difficult. It can be so difficult for people to let stuff go. Do you know one of the fastest growing industries in this country is storage places?
Yes. It's a $1 billion industry.
I have one. I took it out of the garage. I thought if I took it out of the garage that it would encourage more dialogue with my husband about getting rid of things. He just writes the check every month. Like, honey, we don't even know what's in there.
Right.
We don't know what's in there.
And my second mission is to open a consignment store for those pieces, because some people just need to see their pieces. They just need to see it out, come in the store and walk through. And then when you merge it, I want to sell a piece to someone, and then they meet each other and say, this is the chair, this is the person that's buying it. They have a new home. You can let it go.
And your point about things having energy. And we don't realize that some of the stuff that we have is contributing to the chaos or uncomfortableness or the sadness or whatever it is. And as you said, if you touch it and it does not bring you joy, let it.
Bye-bye. And start small. Start with your desk. Start with that junk drawer in the kitchen. Start with that third level in your closet. Quick story about a closet. My mom reminded me when I was 12, every Saturday I would kick my siblings out of our home just to refold all the linen in the closet in our bathroom. It just felt better. And then I would go from room to room, cleaning and organizing and just having a heyday.
When you're coming back to Gainesville, I want you to come do that here.
Well, I do have a space in Gainesville, so I'm between both locations, and I definitely want to stop by and visit you when I'm there again.
Please do. Melody Vaughn is doing something that I've never heard of. An interior designer that is lending her gifts and her talents to help heal. She has an event that's coming up on the 24th here in Gainesville, Florida. And the artist, Stephen A. Hill, his works are going to be on display. It's art, wine, and design. It is a fundraiser to help heal the spaces of families from the Rosewood community.
Yes.
The tickets are from $25 to $50. You have an opportunity to get a consultation from this very talented woman. And I think that it is just going to be an amazing event. Melody.
So excited. And thank you, Pamela, for this opportunity. I feel so blessed. I just feel like the world has opened up a whole new avenue, and I just can't wait to just do more and share more of this. So thank you. And you can follow me on all the social media platforms. Melody Vaughn Interiors is my website. And then I'm on Instagram and Facebook under that. You'll see this big smile, so the picture will.
Yeah, and there's a phone number if you are listening to this on the podcast. The phone number to get more information is area code 646-817-4202. An incredible, groundbreaking event in the arena of interior design to focus on homes of family members who are suffering from the ancestral trauma that has happened in communities like Rosewood. Miss Lizzie Jenkins is going to be at this event on Saturday, the 24th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Cafe Sabroso. In downtown Gainesville.
Downtown, next to Rosa Parks train station.
Next to Rosa Parks train station. And if you're in another area and you will not be in Gainesville, do not hesitate to just make a donation. If you're in Gainesville and you cannot attend for whatever reason, please make a donation. It is an excellent way to make a contribution to those families who were displaced and show some love.
No, pure love. Love.
and promote peace.
Live in peace and live in beauty. It's just so beautiful. And I'm so honored. This has been a treat, an honor, and I just can't wait to meet you in person and give you I'm a hugger and I'm fully shot. I got my COVID shot, so and, I'm
Well, here's a virtual one. Thank you for your willingness to share your gifts and talents. May God continue to bless you, Melody, in all that you're doing. And because you are willing to give above and beyond, that the blessings that will pour out will be more than you have room enough to receive. But we know you're going to organize them.
Yes, first and foremost.
The blessings will be organized.
Pouring and overflowing. Thank you again, Pamela. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for watching this edition of Sisters of Wellness, where we try to live out that scripture in Titus that says, older women teach the younger women. Please share this with all that you know and love, and take a look around your space. Maybe just pick up some things and straighten them up a little bit. It's like when you get your car washed, it drives better.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Sure does.
All you did was get the dirt off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like the engine runs better because you get the dirt off of it.
Yes. It just feels better. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. We'll see you Thursday at 7 o'clock for the Timbuktu Report, and then back here next Monday for another incredible woman who is willing to share her gifts and talents again. Melody Vaughn in New York City, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you here in Gainesville. God bless you.
You as well. Take care. Bye.
Thank you all for watching. I'm Pamela Marshall at the Wellness Radio TV and at the Wellness Radio TV podcast. Remember, there is healing at the well. Make it a fantastic moment.
Beautiful.